Tuesday, we, the researchers, comes up with this research study entitled Factors Affecting Economic Growth in Terms of Business and Education Due to Pandemic in Victoria Oriental, Mindoro. And now, we are having further discussion about this study. We investigated the factors affecting the business and education in terms of technology use and services due to pandemic in Victoria Oriental, Mindoro. This study aimed to know if there is significant relationship difference between the business and education in terms of technology use and services. A correlational design was used in conducting the study. This would be beneficial for students, teachers, business owners, parents, and future researchers. Minsu students who works as online seller and business owners in Victoria Oriental, Mindoro are the respondents of this study, where 30 students and online seller are randomly selected. The data that we use is self-structured questionnaire, and to follow the rules of the government due to pandemic, we distributed through online to the respondent with the use of Google Form. According to an early forecast of International Monetary Fund, the global economy would contract by about 3% in 2020. The contraction is expected to be of far greater magnitude than that of the 2008 to 2009 global financial crisis in economy. Hanushik and Wosman have used historical growth regression to estimate the long run of economic impact of this loss of the equivalent to 1/3 a year of schooling for the current student cohort.
Statement of the problem. This study attempts to find the factors affecting economic growth in terms of business and education due to pandemic in Victoria Oriental, Mindoro. More especially is to seek the answer to the following questions. What are the effects of pandemic COVID-19 to the economic growth related in business in terms of technology use and services? What are the effects of pandemic COVID-19 to the economic growth related in education in terms of technology use and services? Is there any significant difference between business and education in terms of technology use and services? Statement of the hypothesis. There is no significant difference between business and education in terms of technology use and services.
Hey everyone, I am Gracilyn de Los Santos from BE Ed2. Today I will tackle about the significance of the study, scope and delimitation of the study entitled Factors Affecting Economic Growth in Terms of Business and Education Due to Pandemic in Victoria Oriental, Mindoro. Significance of the study. The result of this study could be highly significant and beneficial specifically in the following individuals. First, business owners. Business owners, they would benefit from the outcome of this study by adapting some strategies and techniques that will be present of this study. Second, student. Student with this study, the student will know on how they can adapt this kind of situation with pandemic. And also, they will avoid already the negative effects of pandemic to their education. Third, teachers. With this study, the teachers will know the factors that can affect the education of their students. By that, they can make ways to solve the problems that we're facing. Lastly, future researchers. This study will serve as a guide for them and may suggest for the future changes that can make the study more valuable. Moreover, it will serve as foundation in their attempt to look deeper into the same situations. Scope and delimitation of the study. This study is focused on the factors affecting economic growth in terms of business and education due to pandemic in Victoria Oriental, Mindoro. The total number of the respondents estimated in the study is 30, consists of second to third year students of Minsu or Mindoro State University and online seller of Victoria Oriental, Mindoro.
I will discuss about the conceptual framework. wherein the conceptual framework consists of two variables, which are independent variables and dependent variables. The independent variables shows the effects of to the economic growth in terms of technology used and services, while the dependent variables shows the effects of the pandemic to the economic growth in terms of education of the technology used and the services. So, for the definition of the terms, to avoid the misunderstanding, the definition of terms are the one who were defined the words that are used in the research. So first is the business. It is the activity of one's living or making money to produce or selling goods and services. The second one is the economic. It refers to the social science concerned with the distribution, consumption, and the productions of the goods and services. The third one is the education. It refers to facilitating of learnings, acquisition of knowledge, values, moral, habits, and beliefs. The fourth is the pandemic. It refers to the epidemic of the worldwide or the nationwide that affects the billions of people affecting the many lives. Services. It refers to the transaction in which physical goods are transferred from the seller to the buyer. Technology. This is the process, techniques, and skills which are using in the goods and services to accomplish a certain goals or the objectives.
For research design, in this study, correlational was employed. This method was used to identify the relationship or correctness of two factors called variable, the business and education, in affecting economic growth due to this pandemic in Victoria Oriental, Mindoro. The respondents of this study was consisting of Minsu student who works as online seller and business owners in Victoria Oriental, Mindoro. Only 30 random people will be the respondents.
So the researcher used a survey questionnaire as the research instrument. So for each variable or for each item, they made self-made questionnaire. So for the data gathering procedure, in gathering all the data that are needed for the wholeness of the study, the researchers seek first the particular problem for a certain students or business owner in this time of pandemic. With endorsement from the subject contemporary word or SOC SCI 114, permission from the business owner and to the president of the Mindoro State University to conduct the study was secured. By the approved letter request from the president of Mindoro State University and to the business owner, questionnaires were then distributed to the target respondents. The researcher virtually explained the content of the questionnaire so as to ensure the credibility of the test result. Upon the retrieval of the test instruments, the results will be tabulated for analysis and interpretation.